Alright, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy PXG Cash Howard. We are here in let's see my memory's right. We are in week 11 of the Pokemon Forever Association League battles. This week we're fighting once again someone we fought previously in the past. This time the Syracuse Swellows. Now there is one catch from then and now. Because of personal reasons, um, around the halfway point, Yugiohtrav is unable to actually battle, but he does have a replacement in Abruptfury. But Yugiohtrav is still the one issuing, which pokes are gonna come in. Essentially, the base strategy is just Tommy, aka Abruptfury, is the one that's actually gonna be doing the fighting for him. So now, last time when we fought Yugi, we almost lost, but one misplay on his part is what got us the win, which was his Cresselia, which was already setting up. Decided to swap out for when it didn't need to at the point. But between then and now, we both acquired different pokes. That we could potentially use. It could probably be to make things completely different. So between the two of them, they decided to bring in Celebi, Houndoom, Wartortle, Steelix, Mega Heracross, and Cresselia. Now the only things here I remember clearly from last go round are the last three in the back, which are Steelix, Mega Heracross, and Cresselia. So now this week, well, things I didn't have then, which I have now, the Volcarona and the Suicune were not available back then, which we now have access to now. And then to round that up, we got Vera Wang, looking elegant as always in her dress. Here, let's fix that up real quick. Cause Vera Wang, come on, Vera Wang, yeah, Vera Wang. We got Black Huron. We got the Umbreon, and we got the next member of the Mill family, Mill the 4, who, as we all know, is the black sheep of the family. Hence the discoloration there. He's at the rebellious stage. He don't want to be like the other Mills out on the street. You know what I'm saying? All right, but all things aside, I kind of want, in my head, I already had the strategy I was gonna do. Now I'm gonna say this now. Two of my pokes were not what I had on paper, and then what I brought to battle were not the same thing. So probably through an oversight on my part, I must have missed making some changes. But that doesn't mean I'm going to take anything away from what goes on in the match, because it is a trainer's duty to go out and do what they are able to do. So, without being said, we're going to go. What week I said was this again? We're week 11. Week 11 of the Pokemon Forever Associations, the Puerto Rican Panchams versus the Syracuse Swellows. Alright, so Tommy is issuing the challenge. Leads off with Cresselia. I lead off with Vera Wang. So now, if this Vera Wang being one of those two Pokemon I was mentioning, if this was the Vera Wang that I thought it was, I see Cresselia there. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna we're gonna taunt this thing so it doesn't do anything. Lord and behold, I don't have taunt. I have Will-O-Wisp though. So why don't we just burn it? Cresselia goes with Trick Room, so had I had that taunt, that would have probably came in right up lovely here. So Cresselia does take some damage to the burn. So now the next thing I wanted to have, see, once again, taunt would have been wonderful there. Probably would have avoided getting poison there. So we go for the Hyper Voice. Does a decent chunk. Then the burn kicks in. Well, the poison for me kicks in. The burn for him kicks in. So now at this point, if, like I said, if this would have been the Vera Wang, I would have thought I would have Shadow Balled here. But like I said, we don't have that. So I went with my only available option. Again, it's the Hyper Voice again. Because this is literally what I had to do last time versus Yugi, which was Shadow Ball the Steelix every time it reared his head. But see, that takes a little nice chunk. It resists the fairy hit. I recall Vera Wang. Go into Suicune. Apply that pressure. Gold Digger goes to the Stealth Rock, which is fine. I only really have two things that really matter, but one more than the other one. So he withdraws Gold Digger to Steelix. Goes into Celebi, which I believed is probably one of those pokes that that Yugi picked up recently, because I don't believe he had access to before. So we get the burn. It doesn't really matter much because I believe Celebi has Natural Cure. So as soon as it switches out, it's gonna lose the burn anyway. So recall Suicune because there's no way I'm gonna stay in. I don't know what this Celebi is capable of. Wow. So I go into Black Kyurem. Radiating that bursting aura. So he goes for the Sword Zands. So at this point I already know it's probably gonna Baton Pass. Probably. To what I think, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping it's not. So we draw Celebi. Goes into Koopa Troopa, which I know is the War Turtle. So I go for the Shadow Claw. And then immediately go for the Outrage. Get him for about less than half. So he also goes for the Toxic. Which is fine because down the road we do have Umbreon who will be able to take care of that for us. He withdraws Koopa Troopa. And goes into Gold Digger the Steelix again. My Outrage is still kicking in. Could last anywhere from 2 to 3 turns. And we got a 2-turn, which is good for us. And I believe I recall them back. I think I went back into Suicune. Yes. But at this point, Suicune is all I have right now to deal with Steelix, and both taking its hits and probably killing it. So he goes for the Roar. He brings out Verawang. And I believe our things are on this point that, you know, wasn't able to actually to get momentum going because Steelix kept roaring me about. So recall Verawang and I go back into Suicune, I believe. I go into Umbreon this time around. He goes for the Earthquake, which shouldn't really do much to me, and I lied because it was a crit. So we get to the about half health again. I go for the Wish. He goes for the Roar again. And I believe it brings back Verawang out again. Steelix really wants to see that dress. And I go for the Protect, and at this point he'll probably keep me in to at least get the Wish from Umbreon to bring us back to full health. I was probably scouting to see if he's gonna go for Roar again. He goes for Earthquake. So at this point I've seen Stealth Rock, Roar, and Earthquake, so I go for the Will-O-Wisp. At this point I believe maybe he doesn't have a Steel move. And then this is where he proves me wrong and goes for the Heavy Slam. Because even after being burned and having his attack, it hurts like hell. But at least the burn on Steelix will lower his attack, but Vera Wang goes down, being the first casualty in this fight. Bringing us to a 5-6 scenario right now. So I go into Suicune. Applying that pressure again. And I go straight for the Scald, hoping it'll be enough to probably kill it, but just about. Steelix goes for the Roar. Brings out Volcarona, who does not want to be out there right now. As the rocks do bring me to about half health. Steelix does recover some HP due to his leftovers, and then, you know, the damage from the burn. So at this point, I'm like, why not? I go for the Giga Drain, recover some health with Volcarona, and Steelix goes down on their side, brings a new 5-5. And once again, I was like, why did I just take damage? I thought I was leftovers, and I'm Life Orb instead. So this thing is faster than me. So I'm guessing it was this Houndoom was scarfed, which is something I wasn't expecting. So Volcarona goes down pretty quickly, bringing us to 4 or 5 right now. Bring out Mill, the 4th, the dark child of the family, or I guess the green child. He did some odd things. Go straight for the return. And it's a 1-hit KO on Houndoom, knocking it out, bringing us back to a solid 4-4 tight scenario. But here comes Celtas, the Heracross, which we know is the Mega. So I need to do something to this thing. As usual, I'm applying that pressure. So, as per the rules, he's in a Mega. So now I'm afraid of what this thing's possibly going to do. He goes straight for the close combat. That hurts. That really, really hurts. It does, the close combat does lower his 2 defenses. And as much as I would love to attack right now, probably wouldn't be the wisest thing to do. So he goes back into his Celebi. I go straight for the rest to recover that damage. Now, I know Celebi is fast, so it's gonna go first. But I swap out, I believe I went to Umbreon, yeah. He goes for the Swords Dance, which he went for this before. I'm still believing it's a Baton Passer, which is, like I said, something I don't want to see get put on Heracross. He goes for the Recover, which gives me another free turn to do as I wish. So I go for the Heal Bell. At least this forces Suicune to wake up, and also cures Kyurem of his its poison damage from before. So he's in a Baton Pass, so something is getting a +2 in its attack, and it is Celtas, the Mega Heracross. So I go for the Wish. Obviously for the Protect, because I want to make sure I actually get my heal back. And just see what he's going to do. He goes for the Substitute, which I wasn't expecting. I think I was expecting to go straight for an attack. Probably because he realized I was going to Protect and get my Wish. He took the advantage to hide behind the Sub. So I go into Suicune. At least I know I can live a close combat. I don't know if I can at a +2. But he goes for the Pin Missile. Probably think I'm going to stay in on Umbreon. And I do believe I should be able to live. Barely. No. The plus on the attack was actually enough, and Suicune goes down. So So we're at a 3-4 situation right now. Go back to mill the 4. I was hoping the Intimidate would go through the sub, and I remember it doesn't. Go for the sub, the return, because I know it'll break the sub. He goes straight for the close combat, and I don't believe Mill can actually take this, especially after that Swords Dance. And yeah. At this point, Celtas's 2 defenses go down again. Mill the 4th goes down. We're at a 2v4. Bring out Black Huron. Do take damage from the rocks. He withdraws Celtas, which is odd because I think he could have been able to kill me. He goes into Koopa Troopa. So I go straight for the Outrage. See if I can kill Koopa Troopa from that. It barely lived. But as I'm faster, I go again. And Koopa Troopa goes down. Which brings this to a 2v3 situation, and I get the early fatigue, which I was not expecting. I said stay in, and I do take damage from Confusion. It should be enough that Celtas can hit me with a Rock Blast. With Skill Link is going to be 5 anyway. I wasn't going to live 1. Black Huron goes down. So it's all down to Umbreon. So I go for the Protect to see maybe what he's gonna go for. what my So he goes for Pin Missile. So I know that's I avoid it. So I go straight for the Foul Play. We might have a chance to kill this thing if it can actually miss another Pin Missile, but probably to be on the safe side, Tommy goes with a close combat, and that annihilates Umbreon immediately before I even got a chance to consider that an option. And what do we say, Mr. Announcer, sir?
And there goes the battle!
But yeah, like I said, I wasn't going to take anything from Tommy. Tommy played a really good game, roaring me a lot, which kept shifting my momentum about. Was probably one of the best plays that he was doing, as I couldn't really get anything started, as anything I probably thought of was quickly taken away with the fact that something else came out, which is usually whatever didn't want to be out at the time. As we saw, Wang kept coming out versus Steelix, and then in the end, Volcarona comes out, which automatically loses half health because of the rocks. But still, nonetheless, GG's to Tommy, who, as I said before, is playing for Yugiohtrav and Syracuse Swellows. So the Syracuse Swellows get the win. Next week, which would be week 12, we're actually going to be fighting a new team that we haven't fought, which is Ginger Pug and the Mesa Macargos. I do believe right now, with that loss, we are at a 6v5. So we're still positive, but we still want to make sure we get our get those last couple wins in, because I do believe we're getting close to playoffs time. So the better we're off, the better higher up in the scene that we get. So thank you guys all for watching. I do highly appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.